And we exist. It's cold in here, so I'm wearing my coat. Hello, hello! Alright, so many a thing has happened since the last stream. First off, oh, I guess there was an ad. Damn it. Okay, starting over. Hi. Many a thing has happened since the last time I streamed the suit making. First off, we got a prediction going. Do you think that the baby man, who's currently taking a nap on the fur, is going to beg for cuddles? Like he does for most streams. We'll see. Weird! That is really weird. Stream Elements, what are you doing? Stream Elements is doing whatever it does. We do have, there is a new redeemable for your schemes, for your channel points. We have a new one called I'm Here. I'm trying something out, so if everybody would redeem that, we're gonna just see if it works. We're trying to see how that affects how Twitch views viewers, because I know we get a lot of people that come in and lurk, and it doesn't seem to count anybody as actually being here. And of course, my stuff is hiding. There we go. Make him a little bit smaller so we can actually see the alerts when we get them. Huzzah! The alerts! They're so small. Awesome sauce, look at us go! But, so, last time, what were we working on the last time we were working on suits? I don't remember. I legitimately don't remember. Point is the RK-800 suit done. I have a few small modifications to make. I want to change how the gore patch on the tail is, because we're going to change how the tails work. And I want to add a pocket to the bodysuit. But otherwise, it's completely done. Thank you. It's keeping me warm. I've been wearing it all day. Our heat was turned down low, so the house has been kind of chilly all day. Better than sweating, though, so. Because our heater, it does one or the other. There's no options. You're either dying of sweat or you're freezing. Good old Michigan weather. So, the full gray suit, he's done. He's done in rings, he's ready to go. We do have some, like, detail work left. Oh, the feet paws. We're still waiting for the clippers to come back for the feet paws so I can finish those entirely. But otherwise, everything else is done. So now, let me steal this out from underneath your ass, buddy. We've got many, many, many chunks of fur for the 900 bodysuit, which is the one that is now down in the bottom corner. I'm trying to think of when I last actually streamed the twin suits and where I left off, because I don't remember. The thing with streaming bodysuits is that it's a lot of machine sewing, so I tend not to stream it. Which means you guys miss a lot. Like an entire bodysuit being made. Which isn't great, but here we are. Ta-da! But now we're working on cutting out all the pieces and stuff. Ask if you recommended I do the other method of hypermotion tails where you glue pieces together or do it the way Nefertiti did, segmentally chop it or perforate it. I would recommend the way Nefertiti does it because I find that that's like the easiest way to structure your tail, you know? Like, I find that's a lot easier to understand your tail spatially, like the shape you're going to end up with, and carving out of that rather than trying to build segments of a shape that you're trying to make, if that makes sense. Good job, buddy! That's alright. We're just blabbing about all the stuff I haven't been doing on stream. And how I finished the other suit already. Ooh, we do have... Here, I can show you guys. No, it shouldn't if you're using upholstery foam. I wouldn't recommend carving it out of, like, EVA. But even that EVA should be flexible. Because a lot of times you're gluing layers of foam so the glue helps hold it a lot. But as long as you leave about like an inch down the center, usually what I'll do is like say you're making a thick tail that's 5 inches, so 5 layers of foam thick. Just don't cut through that last layer of foam, and then it's perfectly fine. It doesn't hurt it, and it wags really well because foam is super flexible. But we have this guy, and he has onion rings. But we now have our little triangles that have been embroidered, and I can't show it to you very well because I'm sitting way over here. But it is the same metallic fabric. Whoop. And a camera will pick it up well. Where am I? There we go. It does have little triangles embroidered on it. So, and of course in bright lights it'll actually reflect because it is the metallic fabric. But we've got those. We've got somewhere is the start of the armbands. Oh, here they are. They're over here hiding. My machine only goes up to 10 inches, so I needed a 14-inch length. I did not stitch them together very well. I did an ass job of that. But we're just kind of hope we can hide the seam by putting it on the bottom of the arm. But it is shiny metallic fabric with all of the embroidery, just like the triangles. And that's a future me problem, because right now, fabric, bodysuit, we're doing it. It's happening. Not directly cutting it would make it flimsy. Well, that's kind of the thing. Like, you want it flimsy because that's what'll make it flex. But it doesn't really make it sag too much overall or anything like that, because all of the segments that are still glued help it hold its shape rather than being weighed down, if that makes sense. But I definitely recommend the way Nefertiti does it because I find that's an easier way to go about it, like, especially for someone who hasn't done it before. That's how I usually did mine. But yeah. Oh, you wanna see what I mean when I say I didn't sew well? So the embroidery looks nice, right? Fabulous embroidery. It's machine embroidered, mind you, so it wasn't hand embroidered. I couldn't do this kind of shit by hand. But these seams, these are not at all, like, the edges are not lined up, and it's so off-center. It's not even funny, honestly. Like, it's really sad. But it's fine, we'll hide it. It'll be sneaky, because we gotta go like this and make another seam anyway, so that way it can slide over the arm. And then it'll look cool, maybe. I don't really know if it'll actually look cool. But I think it'll look cool. Especially once, the outdoor photos are gonna be fucking dope. When we got the sun off the water, hell yeah, it's gonna look so good. In here it looks kind of dull and muted because the lighting in here is awful, but yep, that's exactly how it goes. I'm at the point of I'm trying to get things done in time for the con, so I would rather things be done and then go back and fix stuff if I have time, if that makes sense. Quinn! Hello, hello! We're trying something new. If you go into your channel points, there's a new redeemable called Check-In. And we're going to see how Twitch starts counting viewers if people check in when they join stream. Thank you. The mic is loud. Why is it always so loud? You know what? Hold on. Thank you for the check-in. What if... Is that better? No, I feel like that's not much. I mean, that's a little better. What if I just... Hold on, it's gonna get very, very loud. I'm gonna whisper. I'm whispering. Thank you for the check-in. I'm gonna whisper. We're gonna whisper so loud. How do I... Properties. Nope, that's not it. Advanced auto properties. What if we turn it down? Is this better? Is this too loud? I can't see shit. Hold on. Is this better? Do I need to turn it down more? Oh, the 3D printing didn't work? No! It just sounds echoey. That's... Like my voice or the music sounds echoey? Oh, that's not right. Huh. That's weird. Are we sure it's not just the music? Because there are some funky tunes on here. Is this better? We're sure it's not just the weird-ass music that was playing. It's just the voice. Okay. Why? Why are you like this, microphone? ASMR time. Hold on. There might be a dog here. I bet you guys are glad you were muted for that. Sorry. I'm looking for models. I hope things like before. That phone would be better, just because, like, I mean, if you use TPU, it'll also squish really well. So ultimately, it's more of a preference thing. I do find that 3D prints tend to get brittle over time, though, so that's also something to consider. Sounds like you're peeking your mic, but everything you say and not just loud. Well, that's bullshit. What if not? What if? Oops, sorry. How does one? What if I fuck with this knob? Does this help? Is this better? Or what if this? Oh, I feel like no. I feel like that was worse. I think if I put you really far away, way over there. Is it changing things better or worse if I turn that knob? So if I turn it, hold on, if I turn it all the way this way, is this better or worse? 1 or 2? 1. Hold on, I gotta turn it off. Or 2. 2? Sorry. 1. We like 1. 1. I don't know what happened to my audio, but it's just been fucking ass. Okay, now we're gonna try the new knob. 1. 2. 1. 2. I think it would also help if my laptop wasn't in the way of the microphone, because I have shit sitting where my laptop normally sits. 2 is out. Okay. I forgot which one is 1. Is this 1? Is this 1? I'm going to assume that's 1, because that would make sense. And we're still too loud? They updated OBS, so I'm going to assume that's what's fucking with my shit. So let's turn this down. Let's go... How's this? Is that better? Should I turn it down some more? What if we just... What about this? How's this working? Can you hear me? Good? Bad? Better? I'm hungry, but nothing I have sounds good. I also don't know... No. This is better. Okay, am I still loud, or should I turn it down a little bit more? Okay, yay! Okay, that's good. I'm hungry. You know, I honestly totally get the fucking nothing sounds good. I made yesterday, right? I was like, oh, you know what sounds good? Chili. So I made an entire fucking pot of chili. We didn't have corn. No corn for chili. So now it's just meat and beans and tomato paste in water with chili seasoning. And it was too much tomato paste because it was a big can of tomato paste, not a little can of tomato paste. So now it's extra tomatoey, and I don't like tomatoey. And as I'm cooking it, I can feel my want of chili disappear. But I ate it anyway because I made fucking chili, so... Waste not, want not, and all that jazz. Ah, Arby's sounds so good. I love Arby's. So I usually default to one of two things at Arby's. That's not true. 3 things. 1, the gyros. I fucking love their Greek gyros with an extra side of tzatziki. Because I'm a sucker for that processed lamb, alright? Like, that squishy meat. It's the best meat. 2 is a beef and cheddar with extra red ranch, because they never put enough red ranch on the beef and cheddar. And 3 is the little roast beef and cheese sliders with a side of red ranch, so I can make myself a little mini beef and cheddar if I'm not that hungry. I'll just buy like 1 or 2 of those. Oh god. The food emoji. I feel like it's never enough red ranch, you know? Like it's outweighed by the amount of cheese that they usually put on their beef and cheddars. Plus, I like to have a little extra to dip my curly fries in. Like, that's the best part, is dipping your curly fries. I will say if I get the gyros, I get the gyros with the crinkly fries. But any other time, I get curly fries. 1 piece. I don't actually know how many pieces this suit is made of. I think it's like 20 or something like that. It's not a lot of pieces. Euro as in G-Y-R-R-O. Not euro as in the coin. It is a pita bread, so it depends. If you're overseas, it's not even a sandwich. But it's a pita bread with lamb meat and usually like lettuce, tomato, onion, you know, stuff like that. Feta cheese usually, and tzatziki sauce. I get it without the tomatoes and the onions because I don't care for tomatoes and onions on my sandwich. But the tzatziki sauce is the best part. That is the best part of any gyro. And I love it. Well, go eat supper. Get yourself some num-nums. DoorDash more Arby's and discover the power of gyros. Or as one waitress said, gyros. They're so good though. I love me a gyro. There's actually a little restaurant down by where my parents live in Mississippi. And it's like a little diner, and they sell such good gyros, except the feta cheese, because you could pay extra to get feta cheese on it. And they don't put crumbled feta on top. They give you a slice. They give you 2 slices of feta, which is delicious. But it's also way too much feta, because you'll take a bite of sandwich and it's nothing but feta cheese. And that shit is dry. But God, is feta cheese so good. See, I wasn't allowed to have Oreos much growing up. Like, it was very rare that I'd ever have an Oreo. In fact, I think the only times I really did were when they came in Lunchables. See, I'm not a big fan of goat cheese. I love Gouda cheese. Gouda is the shit. That and provolone for sandwiches. You can't go wrong putting provolone on a sandwich. See, and that's the nice part, is like, I don't live too far from Pinconning, which is a city in Michigan that is known for cheese. Like, that's all they sell is fucking cheese. And it's all fresh cheese. Homemade cheese. It's real cheese. They got farmer's cheese. They got goat cheese. They got Gouda. They got provolone. They got cheddar. They got flavored cheeses. Like, ugh. And then, of course, it's Michigan. There's a big German population. So there's usually a lot of sausage to go with your cheese. And that comes in all different flavors. Well, what is the time frame for your commission, and What are the odds of you getting Quinn done in time for the con? Are you trying to get Quinn done in time for the con? Because I would say commission comes first. But if, like, you haven't set a deadline until after the con, then maybe work on Quinn. But then I would say commission comes first, because they commissioned you. That's usually what I do. Like, if I don't have a deadline, I get the commission done before I do anything for myself, because they paid me, you know? But I also don't start a commission until it's been fully paid, because I make fursuits. I ain't doing all that work to not get paid. Like, I don't have time for that. That just sounds silly. Plus, I've made that mistake with crochet commissions in the past when I was younger. It's not fun. I'm halfway finished with the back of the hood. I'm still stuck on how I want to do the ears. Gotcha. Well, that sounds like you'd have time before, because like there is, as the stream says, 22 days left until the con. That is a lot of days. That is many a day. But I don't know if that's enough days, because everybody works at their own pace. And apparently I work at a maniac's pace, so I'm not a good reference for how long things take. Like, honestly, I need to give myself a break, but also I'm broke, so I can't have a break. Mobile dog walker guy who encourages dogs to exercise. Oh, yeah! The treadmills for the dogs! The treadmills! I fucking love those. I need to get one for our dogs, because I don't want to go outside with them in the winter. It's so cold. And they want me to be out there in order for them to run around. Like, no, go run by yourself in the backyard. Go do that. Like, you can do it. You're a big boy. You want to go play in the snow? Go play in the snow. And they're like, no, you gotta come play in the snow. Dog talk. Funny. I've probably seen some of his videos. It takes forever to hand sew, too. I use my sewing machine if I only knew how much tension to use for 2 layers of faux fur. I find it depends on the machine. You could always get, like, a sample swatch of fur and just see how it comes through. I also find that fur is fairly lenient on tension because it's so thick. I usually do like a 6 to 8 on my machine, but my machine's tension is also fucked, so that's what I get for using upholstery thread on a home machine. My machine was not designed for what I do with it, but alas, it's what it will do until it dies. Because I'm not paying $300 for a heavy-duty machine when I could pay $50 for the exact same home machine that's been discontinued for the last 5 years. It's fine. Like, honestly, I think a lot of professionals, like professional sewists, I guess, people who quilt and stuff like that, or work with sewing machines in general, would absolutely hate the machine I use for sewing fursuits and how I use my machine, because I'm fucking sure it's not right. I am not in any way professionally trained in sewing. I just learned from myself. I just trial and errored my ass through that shit. So it's like, feels like they constantly need something to do or fidget with in order to. Yeah, I get that. That's why I used to crochet in school. Because I would get bored. It wouldn't matter if I was like watching something. My hands need something to do. So I always brought crochet with me in class, and I would just sit there crocheting. I hand sew a lot of stuff, but like for bodysuits and stuff like that, I prefer to machine sew if I can, just because I find it sturdier and more consistent than my hand sewing is. But if it's like small curved details, then I usually go in and hand sew. Like there's gonna be small details on this bodysuit right along the collar that I'm gonna have to hand sew, and then the rest of it's gonna be machine sewn. He actually treats the dogs like the toddlers they are and doesn't restrict breeds. He just walked a pitty that was the sweetest. Oh, holding leashes. Oh yes, like pit bulls are some of the sweetest dogs. I swear. Which that's the thing. Like there is nature and nurture to breeds, and I feel like a lot of people don't give them that. Like a lot of things like reactivity can be genetic to an extent. For example, Dalmatians tend to be reactive, but that's because historically they were bred as coach dogs, and their whole job was to alert and defend, to keep, because back in the day, firefighters, the reason they're firefighter dogs is because way back when, fire trucks were carriages pulled by horses, and it was very, very hard to get a horse that was trained well enough to not be spooked by a house fire. Like, you gotta think about that, right? Horses are spooked by everything. Now you gotta get one that's hauling water and within 100 yards of a house that is literally burning to the ground. So a lot of times, these professionally trained fire horses would get stolen while the firefighters are trying to save these houses. And that's why the Dalmatian was bred. The Dalmatian would run alongside the coach and would defend the horses from theft. So that's why a lot of times they tend to be reactive, is just because of an inherent thing in the species. That's not to say that all Dalmatians are reactive. It's just that they're more prone to it. And any dog can become reactive if they have a bad experience or are just really fucking stupid and decide that things need to be yelled at, you know? Like Forrest, he's a poodle. Poodles are high energy dogs. They're considered one of the Fab Four for service dogs. He wants to scream at every fucking human being he sees. I don't know why. Sometimes he's excited. Sometimes he just doesn't like that person. I don't know what his deal is. But if a person exists, he's gonna bark at them and let them know they exist. One way or another. Like, I have heard that donkeys make really good herd guards. I've also heard llamas. A lot of people that have alpacas will also have llamas as guardians for their livestock. Because llamas will not take shit, and they'll fight off coyotes. But, and it's like pit bulls, while they do have a history in dog fighting, it's not inherently what they were bred for. And I quite honestly haven't ever seen any form of pit bull, whether that's an American Pit Bull Terrier or an American Bulldog or any form of bully breed, that has genuinely just inherently been aggressive. All of the ones I have seen with any form of aggression were either trained to be aggressive, so usually like guard dogs or fighting dogs, or are fucking terrified and it's a fear response to growl and bark because that's what keeps the danger away, you know? That's not an aggressive dog, that's a scared dog. There's a difference. And I feel like a lot of people don't get that, you know? Trying to figure out how to do Jeff the Land Shark because it'll be my first suit. But it'll be so cool once you get it figured out. And it's definitely going to be a learning experience. Like, I feel like that's how a lot of fursuits go, is people try to go really, like, they pick a design that isn't necessarily a beginner-friendly design for their first suits. Whether it be through like the patterns or the asymmetry or just the overall character itself. So it's like, you're giving yourself a real good challenge. But you'll definitely learn a lot, I'm sure. And then you'll be able to do it better the next time. Pretty sure pits were bred as nanny dogs. I think you're also right. Hold on. Guys, hold on. I have a book on this. Because I'm a nerd. And one of my big things is birds and dogs. So, I have a dog book. Hold on. Hold on, I'll find it. Come here, dog book. Now, generally, when I speak about pit bulls, I'm talking about the American Pit Bull Terrier. So that's what we're going to flip through to find here, is specifically the American Pit Bull Terrier. And we'll read what their little history excerpt is when I figure out what fucking page they're on. American Hairless, Pit Bull Terrier 230. Cool. As you can see, I'm a fucking nerd. They don't even have a little... Okay, so here's the blurb on the American Pit Bull Terrier. The American Pit Bull Terrier has a similar ancestry to the American Staffordshire Terrier, which is also listed right below this, and traces back to English Bulldogs and Terriers. In the 19th century, English dog breeders wanted a faster, more athletic bulldog and crossed it with a variety of regional terriers. The result became half known as the Bull and Terrier half and half, Pit Dog, or the Pit Bull Terrier. The term pit references dogfighting, which was commonly held in pits to contain the gruesome entertainment. These crossbreed dogs were taken to the U.S. with immigrants and used by ranchers for rounding up and driving livestock, hunting, guarding, and fighting. So really they're a working breed. The American Pit Bull Terrier has received much bad press and is banned in England under the Dangerous Dog Act. However, if properly socialized, trained, and cared for, they can make a good, loyal companion. They are not suitable for first-time dog owners. I feel bad for pitties because I got tricked into believing that neutering them helps with their sibling rivalry, but... They're all intact and called it this week. See, that's the thing. Like, there are some... Occasionally, you'll get a dog that, if left intact, has behavior issues, but that's not inherently an issue. The issue with sibling rivalry is just general house dynamics, right? Like family dynamics. As they mature and they go through puberty and stuff, tensions arise, and that's where you'll get littermate syndrome, which is really bad, and that's why you should never get two puppies that are the same age, because it's extremely likely that at some point, once when those dogs hit about 1 year to 2 years old, they're just gonna fucking hate each other and try to kill each other, quite literally. Like, big murder. So it's best to get dogs that are a couple years apart in age, just because it's easier for them to have a healthy social dynamic. Not to say it's impossible to keep litter mates, but it's definitely not something someone who's inexperienced should do, just generally speaking. We also have the American Staffordshire Terrier. Like the American Pit Bull Terrier, the Staffordshire Terrier also developed from English Bulldog and Terrier crosses. When immigrants arrived in the United States, they brought their Bull and Terrier crosses, later known as American Bull Terriers. The name was revised in 1969 to American Staffordshire Terrier. Those animals developed into larger, more powerful dogs than their relatives in England. Although originally bred for fighting, these dogs also had to be easy to handle and gentle with people, which is a characteristic of the breed. Despite their bad press, they are often affectionate, playful, and loyal. They can be aggressive to other dogs, but this can be overcome with proper socialization and training. They are not suitable for first-time dog owners. But, see, like, that makes sense. It makes sense that they might be more prone to aggression towards other dogs. But to say that they're inherently aggressive is stupid. We could even look at bulldogs and other terriers. Like, it's... We had a terrier mix. We had a Westie and a lab mix growing up. And she was honestly the best fucking dog ever. She was stubborn as shit, but she was the best fucking dog. She was so good. We got her in 2004, so I was itty-bitty, and she passed away at about 14 years old. But that's our educational detour for the day. One would jump the fence, so we had to put him on a chain. The other thought he was, like, king poop. Like, even though the other was way more muscular, they fought a lot. It was infuriating because some neighbors would instigate and make them fight by walking really slow against the fence to make them trip over each other, and dogs being dogs are stupid. Right. Right, like, that's the thing. It's like a lot of people do not understand basic animal behavior, and a lot of people also refuse to learn. And it doesn't help either, especially these days with TikTok, that there is just straight up misinformation all the time. Like, people will sit here and just say random, like, that dog's stressed out because its ears are set back. They'll be like, that dog shouldn't be doing that because it's clearly stressed out. And then they're looking at a sight hound, which has rosebud style ears. And I don't know if you've ever seen sight hounds, but their ears naturally sit in a backwards position unless they're particularly alert. Like, Bingus has those style ears. So most of the time, her ears lay flat against her head because that's just how they are. Unless she really wants something. And then we go what's called airplane mode, where her ears just stick out. She's like... And that's when she gets excited. But It plays metal music for shark awareness, has lots of days where we watch videos on shark attacks so we can see if they're getting more misinformation or not. That is cool. I like learning about sharks and like shark attacks and stuff and what generally leads up to them. Because 9 times out of 10, it's usually an issue of shark was hungry, shark mistook human for something else, you know? Or shark was put in a situation where it felt like it was in danger, and then, you know, chose to defend itself from what it thought was a danger. But... and it's like the same thing for like rats and stuff too. Like rats, I feel like rats are adorable. They might not be everyone's cup of tea, but I think they're so cute. Like you see them ogling with their little eyeballs and they're wagging their tails and all that, like. And snakes. Snakes are just the noodle puppies all the time. Like the ball pythons are so sweet. But people will sit there and they'll be like, oh, it's a danger noodle. And it's like, oh, well, it's a rodent, like that, so whatever, you know. And it's like, when my sister was younger, we had guinea pigs. And I feel like a lot of people don't give guinea pigs a whole lot of credit for how smart they are. We had TJ. He was a real good piggy. Also, guinea pigs can jump. Like, they're like the fucking cats. They just leap sometimes. It's like, holy shit. But he was such a... like, you would bring him out, and if you'd watch a movie, he would just curl up like a cat, and just be a little cinnamon roll on your chest, and sleep for the whole movie. And he was usually so good, and he would try to, like, they're guinea pigs, they have teeny tiny bladders. But he was nice enough to try and not shit on you, most of the time. You know, again, tiny bladders and stuff, so they can only do so much about it, but he tried his best. He was mostly potty trained. Rats are so smart. When I worked at the pet store, a feeder rat played tag with me. I also got my hubby to hold a ball python, not knowing he was afraid of them, and I felt bad. Oh. Yeah, no, the ball pythons are cute. I would love to have one. But then I have to worry about someone taking care of it while I'm at a con, you know, like... and it's so expensive to keep reptiles in general. Like, I had birds, and I feel like birds and reptiles have very similar levels of upkeep. And, oh my god. It is so expensive for those fucking heat lamps. An ad break now! Guys, it's coming. The ad. It's gonna get you. Ooh. Euros. Good thing. Currently my sister has Bernie, who is a... something. Yes! I want to geek about bird. Hold on, I have a bird book, too! I have the Book of Birds of North America! I have a bird book, I have a cat book, and I have, like, a general atlas as references for when I draw furry art and stuff. Because sometimes digital references just aren't it. Listen, I turned the ads down. There's only so much I can do, guys. I'm trying. I'm trying my best. Guys, I got 69 followers. Yes, learning about animals. But, it lied to me. The ad is still starting soon. But yeah, I've got a bird book. I might actually go grab that. Because when we lived in Alabama, Alabama has so many birds. I believe their state bird is the yellow flicker, the yellow-bellied flicker, which is kind of like a woodpecker, but not really. You know, like they're woodpecker adjacent. But they have hummingbirds. They specifically have Anna's hummingbirds and ruby-throated hummingbirds. Those are the local species down there. So we had a hummingbird feeder, and I kid you not, they're so fucking territorial. The males will fight anybody. Yes! Yes, dude, the furry community is like nothing else. It's the way like fandom in general used to be. I feel like a lot of fandom is like, yes, hummingbirds. I've seen them like stab each other. No! Ads! God damn it. Ah. But furry is just yes. Con. Yeah. Oh god, it's so much fur. So much fur. Okay.
Yay, the ad break! It's finishing! Huzzah!
We are back. We exist. Ah! I don't know what he's doing over there, but he's probably trying to yell at the neighbors that aren't even home right now. I don't know why I'm trimming this so long. I'm probably going to hand sew it. I had to give myself a lot of seam allowance for stuff that I'm machine sewing versus hand sewing, but that's because I trim it afterwards, so it doesn't matter. I'm not trying to plug up like other steam. You're fine. I do not mind. This one guy my hub really likes that because he 3D rigged his VTuber Wolfie to be so neat and it looks like ooh. See, I know nothing about like rigging or 3D modeling. Like, I know very, very little about like the VR chat community and the furry community as far as like 3D modeling and tubers and stuff go. That's where I lack in knowledge. I know people that know things about it, but I personally do not know shit. The dot dot dots imply things. I don't watch a whole lot of furry streamers, to be honest. I don't watch a lot of streamers in general, to be honest. I'm usually just vibing. But what kind of rules? Like, is there a specific one that you see that happens a lot? Because I have an idea as to why there might be very specific rules. And it's probably going to be the Gooners. Or for Shiggles. It's either Gooners or Shiggles. We've been trying to stream for years now. We're so happy to be able to find something. The thing with like furries is especially with the VTubers, people really, really like to just say, "Oh, well, it's a VR character. It's not real. Therefore, I can do whatever I want." So that might be why. But they might also just put in silly rules for the sake of being silly. No roleplay. Okay. So, the furry community is prone to drama. And there are some people that really... It's similar to like anime cons, you know? Not necessarily. But a lot of times people will come and chat and they'll be like, ooh, woo, role-playing, right? Yeah, so people will just take it too far quite often, especially if it's a larger streamer that has way more viewers. So rather than sitting here and having to mod all of that, it's a lot easier to just say don't do it in the first place, you know? Because a lot of people don't know where boundaries are, and it's easier to just set a easy to recognize boundary than a loosey-goosey one. And a lot of people just aren't into roleplay these days. People find it cringe. I know I find it cringe, not like as in people shouldn't do it, but as in I don't like doing it. It hurts my own feelings when I roleplay. But, you know, it's just people are weird on the internet. Yes, exactly. There's a lot of people that want to say that reality is like fiction begats reality, and vice versa, and you know, and there's other people that just you might say, hey, role playing is fine, but like, I don't want to constantly have people in my chat, trying to hit me up, trying to get in my DMs and all that jazz, because I could imagine it's kind of annoying. The Bingus is the dreaming. Did you guys hear that? Did you hear her dreaming? Oh, her legs going. She might huff and puff again. If I keep on talking and don't change anything, she'll keep on dreaming, and then she might actually yap again for us. Very rarely does she yap in her sleep, but she's been dreaming a lot lately. She's old. She dreams a lot, but. I don't think she's gonna yap again. I've actually been pretty stressed about streaming because of how people treated me IRL, so I heard lady streamers have an awful time dealing with it, and I guess I experienced it too when I got reported banned. Yeah, I can see that because that is definitely... I feel like that's part of, like, general gamer culture, though. You know, like, the over-sexualization of women and stuff like that, and the harassment of women in what's considered gamer spaces is just common. It's so ungodly common, and it's awful. It shouldn't be, but it is, because stupid people. So, a lot of people that have... Oh, yes. Oh, Bingus. She's my Bingus. Baby Bingles. Bingy Wingies, Bingle Bongle Bongle Bartholomew the Third. Bingle Wongle, Bing Wings. She is currently sleeping in her chair. In fact, actually, if I'm very careful and very slow, her name is Sarah. I think it's just exclamation point Bingus. Her actual name is Sarah, but she is 11, and if I'm very slow, she might not wake up. And I might be able to tilt the camera and show you guys. The camera does scare her, and she seems to always know when there's one pointed at her. The baby man's, I'm sure. Let me see if I can. Oh, I don't think I can tilt the camera low enough. Be very sneaky with the camera. Don't worry about how messy the office is. My stick is very long. You're upside down? That is the biggest. Can you see her in her chair? I don't know what angle we're looking. She's awake now. Of course I woke her up, because the cord is touching all over her. She is a lab mix, and she is 11 years old. We got her as a puppy from a shelter in Alabama, a state shelter. Hi, Bingle. Did you have a good nap? Yeah. She was originally the family dog, and when I started presenting with Tourette's symptoms, she picked up really quickly on helping with that. So we ended up training her when she was about 7-8 years old to start working, and she worked for about 3 years before she had to retire because of arthritis. Because she's old and sore, and she can't do all that walking no more. Which she was very pissed about, mind you. She was not happy to retire. But I wasn't going to make her work when she was quite literally limping after 10 feet of walking. Yeah, I know it. I know, you're so sad. Her favorite places to go were Joann's and the dollar store. I don't know why those were her I know why Joann's was her favorites, because we went there all the time. I don't know why she really liked the dollar store, though. Like, that was one of her favorite places. And I want to say it's just because it's one of the first places we started taking her that wasn't pet-friendly when she was training. She did go to college with me for a bit. She went to a few college classes. And she has also been to MFF in Chicago, and surprisingly gave 0 fucks about the big-ass airport next to our hotel. But this is the same dog who is terrified of applause. If more than 2 people start clapping, she's terrified. So she's got her quirks. She's definitely not, like, top-tier service dog, but she's a very good girl. Yes, so it usually takes about 2 years to train a service dog, sometimes more, sometimes less. Get you some num-nums! But Bingus is a good girl. But she's a good girl. I tried when I knew she was gonna retire. I tried finding. You want to do a thing? What kind of thing? Like a furry thing? Like a drawing thing? Damn it, Jay! There was supposed to be a heckin' bamboozle. Who are we bamboozling? Oh, goodbye. I was. Do less lettuce? What is so much lettuce? Who are we bamboozling? Oh, yeah, they put a lot of lettuce on their euros. I should have warned you they put a lot of lettuce on the euros, but it's delicious. It's also why you ask for extra tzatziki. And for the fries, it's really good on the fries. Treat for the Bingus and the Baby Mans. You guys want a cookie? We're getting a treat for the Bingus and the Baby Mans. And immediately her head pops up. You gonna come here so camera can see you get your treats? Oh, Forrest came running. Hi, Baby Mans. You sit? Oh, good boy. Can you beg? Do a real beg. That's a shake. There you go. Up. Spin. No, spin. Oh, good boy. Have a cookie. Bingus, you gonna come here? She has decided she's very comfy in her chair right now. Come here, Sarah. Come on. Yeah, you can do it. Oh, good job. Oh, a big stretch. Yeah. Can you sit? Can you boop? Oh, good job. Can you be dead? Be dead. I don't know if the camera can see you, but you're gonna be dead. Come on. Be dead. She's like, nah, I don't feel like it. Okay. Up. How about a beg? Be careful, but beg. You could do it. Beg. Good job. Alright, that's enough. That was your guys' treats. Woo! Boop the Baby Mans. He's like, you smell delicious, mother. You smell delicious. Oh, we've also discovered something. Forrest does not like when you blow raspberries on him. He thinks, I mean, he doesn't seem to hate it. He thinks it's a game. Come here, bud. You want kisses? Come here. Give me a kiss. Yeah, now he doesn't trust my kisses no more. Come here. Come here. What about raspberry? What about raspberry? Come here. Come here. He does not want to come. He's like, I know what that is. I know what a raspberry is. I'll go. Come here. He's like, I'm going to stand 6 feet away from you. Come here. Yeah. Oh, you can't get away. You can't get away. I got you. Oh, come here. Oh, I got you. Ready? Yeah. Look what we did. We got them all riled up. See, Euros are fucking amazing. I love Euros. All right, all done. Go bug your dad. He's so silly. And Bingus is back in her chair all awkward like, yes, you are, Binkle. You're a good girl. I lost my scissors. Where did I put them? These are not the right scissors. Where did I put it? Uh-oh. Where could I have possibly sat them? Oh. Forrest, move! I'll blow raspberry on your butt if you don't move. Yeah. He looks at his butt, he's like, my booty? On my booty? So, very important, guys. This is the good pair. This is the bad pair. Remember that. Very, very important that we remember which is the good pair, which is the bad pair. They both work just fine. I just like this one better because this one is very stiff. Whereas this one, loosey-goosey, which makes it a lot easier to cut. It's a lot easier on my hands. But yeah, no, Euros are fucking amazing. I love Euros. I think I have Baby Man for my mouth now. Yeah, this little shit has been on a hunger strike for the most part and refuses to eat his dinner. But he'll come running for treats. Spoiled little childrens. Bingus doesn't come running for treats no more. She's comfy. You gotta make her move if she wants a treat. These pieces, these are the small pieces I'm gonna have to hand sew together. Just because. Just because they're so small, that's why. The surprising part is this suit really does not have a lot of, like, it looks like it has a lot of white. It does not have a lot of white. Well, yeah, it's a pita. Pitas are kind of dense. It's pita bread. I don't know, I feel like my Euros always come with the proper amount of meat. If you ask for a Euro in Germany, they will actually just give you a plate of meat and lettuce and tomatoes. It's more like a charcuterie board than it is like a sandwich. And then if you ask for pita bread, they'll bring it to you sliced up into little triangles instead of bread to make a sandwich. So they do Euros different in Germany. But they also use real, like, fresh lamb meat. They have lamb meat a lot in Germany. We went to a few fairs while we lived there, and we usually saw it specifically at the fairs. It was usually like rotisserie, and they would shave it off the outside, so it would get crispy, and then they would shave it, and it would re-crisp, and then it would shave it. So it was just constantly cooking and crisping on the outside all the time. Well, don't? Oh yeah, it is 7:30, isn't it? Shoot. I don't like tomatoes, so I don't imagine they do particularly fancy seasoning on their tomatoes. It's probably just like salt and pepper. Or some form of pepper. Like most restaurants. I usually get mine without the tomatoes or the onions because I don't care for... The onions I don't mind too much these days. I still don't really care for them on my sandwiches because it's weird. My waffle didn't ask nicely. But I do not like tomatoes, straight up. Which is funny, because my sister loves tomatoes. Like, we used to go to restaurants and she would specifically order an extra bowl of tomatoes for her salads. She just wanted tomatoes. It was always her favorite thing as a kid. But I do not like tomatoes. I like potatoes, which my sister does not like. Potatoes, tomatoes. And then, of course, in true parental fashion, my mother gets us mixed up all the time and thinks I like tomatoes and I don't like potatoes, which I don't know how, because mashed potatoes are the best thing on the fucking planet. Potatoes are the best. My sister would disagree, though. What? What were we talking about earlier? Something. Tomato, not tomato. No. Tomatoes are horrible. Also, sweet potatoes are a lie. Fuck sweet potatoes. That is my hill that I die on, is fuck sweet potatoes. Those are carrots pretending They're fucking pretending to be a potato. Jay, we're not friends no more. No, I'm joking. But also, fuck sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes are evil. And I was so pissed off when we lived down south. Because it was the South, right? They love sweet potatoes down there. So, of course, I go to public school. And what does public school have? Oh, burgers and fries. Not really. They're sweet potato fries. Oh, well, it'd be something in a baked potato. Not really. It's a baked sweet potato. Every time, it was sweet potato. And quite literally, I wanted to die. Because I just wanted normal fries. Or normal baked potato. Like, a baked potato is healthy if you don't smother it in butter and sour cream. It's a potato, not a sin. We had a beehive, and my hub got Nito a beekeeper to help her home them. Woo! Nice! I hear, like, fresh honeycomb is so good. I've never had any, but I've heard that it's so good. Like, it's just... Oh. You know, we were just talking about jalapeno bites yesterday. I don't remember why, but no, my fiance and I were talking about jalapeno bites. I don't like jalapenos, but I like the cheese. I don't do spicy. Spicy's just not my thing. I die. Like, for reference, most honey barbecues are too spicy for me. I am white girl spicy. Like, that's all I got. That sounds so good, though. Found a recipe that basically uses rotisserie chicken to make the jalapeno. Ooh, nice. See, I like to buy rotisserie chickens because, first off, they're cheap. It's like $5 for a whole rotisserie chicken. And then I like to shred them into little baggies to put in the freezer, and then I'll put that shit in. And like, if I'm making dinner with chicken, it's going to be rotisserie chicken because I'm really bad at cooking chicken. And it's kind of hard to fuck up warming up rotisserie chicken. So, I just put rotisserie chicken in everything. Unless it specifically is like a whole chicken breast. And usually that stuff's like oven bake, and it's like you put it in there for 30 minutes with some mayo or something, and it comes out fine, you know? But generally speaking, I'm really bad at cooking chicken. Like, it comes out way too tough all the time. The mango jalapeno alcohol drink. Ooh. That sounds like so many things I would not like. I don't like most alcohols to begin with. And mango is 50-50. It's mango flavored. Sometimes it's pretty good. But like actual mangoes, I don't like them. I'm very picky. That's just me though. Woo! Nice. That fancy shit. You have an emo. That's funny. So the only alcohol that I have found that I have genuinely liked is soju. Soju is pretty good, especially when it's mixed into shit. Like, you cannot taste it when it's mixed into shit. It's amazing. I do like me some vodka. Vodka ain't bad when it's mixed in, you know? But like, soju I'll drink on its own. I particularly like this strawberry flavored soju that I find. That shit is delicious. I did recently buy like some lemon honey or something like that soju. That is not good on its own. It's awful. It smells horrible. It tastes bad. But you put the lemon soju into Coke, and oh my god, it's like I'm in Germany again. It is amazing. Lemon in Coke. Which, if you haven't tried that, I highly recommend. If you go to a restaurant, ask for a lemon wedge with your Coke. They're going to look at you like you're crazy, but a lemon wedge in your Coke is so good. It is the shit. But, and that's like a default thing in Germany. Like, if you order Coke in Germany, they're going to serve it with lemon wedge. That's just how it is. And German Coke is better than American Coke, though, just in general. Like, it just tastes better. German Coke tastes the way that Subway Coke tasted before they switched to fucking Pepsi. Like, the crispest, flavor-most Coke. Amazing. Like, it's better. Actual German Coke is better than Mexican Coke. So good. And then you put a little lemon wedge in it. Ugh! It's the shit. Fireball, Jaeger, or Dr. Oh, I don't like Dr. Pepper. My sister loves Dr. Pepper. That is her thing. And I'm like, whatever 23 spices and flavors they put into your soda, this should not be in there. Not gonna lie. It tastes like a diet drink, even though it's not diet. And I don't like that. I don't like diet drinks. They all have that aspartame taste. And I hate it. Long Island iced teas are made from ginger ale and Coca-Cola, not tea. What? Yeah. A lot of people do Arnold Palmer's around here. I've heard about peanut butter and jelly wine. I've also heard that it tastes bad. I've heard that the jelly wine tastes fine and the peanut butter wine tastes fine, but as soon as you mix them together, bad. MCFC has the Sponsors Lounge every year. They finally released what's going to be in the Sponsors Lounge for drinks this year. I wonder if they have the John Lemon. I didn't look. There's a drink. Okay, so the way MCFC does their Sponsors Lounge, right? There is a single keg of all these different beers, ciders, and meads from the Detroit area, right? Super cool. If you like them. I generally do not. And I'm realizing I'm kind of out of frame all the time. No, Scotch burns. Scotch hurts. Scotch hurts my feelings. But that's what I like about soju, is that it also burns, but it's in your face. You know, like it makes your cheeks warm. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't give you heartburn, you know? Different kind of burn. Would you get off my fabric? No? Okay, cool. Well, I guess I'll start doing this fabric then. What do you do? Brain hole. But, so, MCFC only has one keg of each flavor. And every year that I've gone, they've had what's called the John Lemon, which I hear is fucking amazing. Not once have I had a chance to try it, because it's usually gone within 20 minutes. Like, people run for that shit. That's how good it is. So apparently, if you ever get Sponsors Lounge at MCFC, you need to go and get the John Lemon, because that is apparently the best. I do not like meads. I do not like most wines. I don't like... Even sweet wines feel really dry. I know, I love the pun. There's a lot of drinks with puns. In fact, actually, I kind of want to read off MCFC's list for drinks this year. Oh, that's not it. I'm excited to go to my first gay bar when I fly to my home state for a con. Hell yeah! See, that's the nice thing too, is we're coming right up on con season right now. Like, it's starting up strong. Sponsors Lounge. They have Big Lake Brewing, and they have a beer from them. Be Well Mead is usually there every year. They have Be Well Cherry Vanilla Mead this year. Hoppers? Cervejeria. Bohemian Pilsner with jasmine flowers beer. Shacksberry cider with yuzu ginger organic cider. Mad Farmer cider with key lime mojito. Farmhouse is always there. They have brunch cider this year, and Lake Effect Blush, which is a blackberry cider with lemon. St. Ambrose Cellars, I believe, is there every year. This year they have Day Tripper, Rhythm and Blues, Grateful Head, and Rasputin. Crafted Meadery has Cafe Americano. Cafe Americano. Oh my god. That is stupid. I kind of want to try it. Victory Brewing has Sour Monkey Beer. Maui has Pineapple Manna Wheat Beer. Metazoa has Trash Panda. Brewery Vivant, has Wizard Burial Ground. And that's a strong one too. It's 11.5%. It is a beer though. Ace has Guava Cider, Mango Cider, and Perry Cider. Old Side Ales has Mayan Mocha Stout and Sin Cider, as in cinnamon. Sin as in cinnamon. Puck Cider has Whippersnapper Spiced Pear Cider and Blue Barb Blueberry Rhubarb Cider. Dewclaw has Sweet Baby Fluffernutter, and Altos has Malbec. Oh, do they not have the John Lemon this year? Aw, man, that sucks. People are gonna be so mad that there's not the John Lemon. Not getting a hotel room. I'm just gonna drive each day to save money. Ooh, that's a lot of driving. Also decided not to do the dance count because it was stressing me out bad. That's fair. That's fair. That is a lot of driving, though. Be careful, because driving on the highways by Detroit is awful. Driving in Detroit is awful. The upside is if you take, 275, 375, whatever the offshoot is right there, it spits you out right by the hotel. So then you just gotta go down and around to get to the Renaissance Center. Which, last I checked, they were doing construction by the Renaissance Center. So I don't fucking know what's happening. I hope it's done by the time MCFC rolls around, because oh my god, I do not want to deal with that. The last time I went to Detroit, I drove down there 4 days in a row to go to UMaCon in the Kobo Center, which is now Huntington Place. That's what they call it now. And to get to the parking, you have to kind of go around. But there's this one intersection that doesn't look like an intersection, but it is. So I totally ran that red light once. Thank God nobody else was there, because it was literally like 7 in the morning. But holy fuck, that was awful. And I made sure that I remembered that light was there the next time I went, because it's a very sneaky street light. You wouldn't think an intersection could be sneaky, but God, it was sneaky. Hell yeah, Lions. I don't do sports. I don't follow any of it. But yes, Lions. Good job. My dad is a big Lions fan. I'd rather not spend $300 to $500 on a room I'd only use at night for 3 days. I'd rather spend $30 to $40 on gas, and then on the first and last. That's true. That's fair. That's what we ended up doing for UMaCon. Is we just spent. It was a 2-hour drive for us to get to UMaCon from where we were at. So just to get there. So we drove 4 hours every day to get there and come home. And I think it cost us in total about like $80 in gas. $80 to $100. And then we spent another $100 in parking. Because the parking above the Kobo Center was $25 a day. Which was awful. Yeah. I got lucky with the hotel rooms, and I did get into the room block, so I did get the discounted rate at the Marriott. But that was still, like, in Detroit, the hotels in Detroit are, like, $1,300 for the weekend. It's fucking awful. And they don't even have microwaves anymore. Like, give me my goddamn microwave. If I'm gonna be charged fucking a month's rent to be in your hotel for a weekend, I should be allowed to have a fucking microwave. I feel like that's not a big ask. Like, am I crazy for that? Sir, are you also bitching about hotel prices? He says. $1,300 for Thursday through Sunday. Check in on Thursday, check out on Sunday. Fucking awful. I wouldn't be able to stay at the con for long, because then I'd only have 4 to 5 hours of sleep before the next day when I went later in the day. Yeah. I know hotel rooms are kind of what's getting everybody this year, because they used to be at a different hotel last year that was in Ypsilanti, which is basically just the outskirts of Detroit. like the very, very outskirts. So it's kind of, quiet, middle of nowhere kind of space. Not too far off the highway, though, so that was nice. But it was very, very small for the con. And I think the hotel prices there were honestly only a couple $100 cheaper. Brainhold. I want to say that the reason the hotels cost so much in Detroit is because of city taxes. Because I think Detroit charges more, like they definitely charge a city sales tax, but I think they also charge a hotel tax on top of that, in addition to the state sales tax. So even if your room is technically $800, your fees bring it up by another couple $100. Because fuck you, that's why. And then of course you have parking that you have to pay for, so... It's all dumb. It is what it is. I have family that live close to the con, so I'm pretty lucky I was only going to have to deal with a bit of traffic. That's good. That's always good. Most cons are, like, in cities, and I personally just fucking hate city driving. So I can't do it. I drive in, I drive out. That is it. I do not want to keep driving around town. I don't want to keep driving in and out. It's awful. I hate driving in the city. But I also do not trust an Uber, so I'm going to drive myself there, park, and I will drive myself home. I will say, though, the worst city I've ever had to drive through was Cincinnati. And I've driven through a lot of cities. I drive a lot. If I'd be able to find a hotel close to Detroit, that would be cheaper. Within a distance that's worth it? Probably not. Most of the hotels in the general area are about the same price, even if they're shittier hotels. I guess you'd have to look and see what's available that's by the People Mover and see what you can get. Because the People Mover is free, isn't it? If I remember right. And then you could just, get on that and come over. And it'd just be a decent bit of walking. But, yeah, city driving is awful. Because I swear to God, cities can't design properly. Why is there one-way streets in a fucking city, first off? Second off, like, where are these intersections coming from? Tell me why I got off the highway, I go down some city streets, I'm in the middle of sky rises, and there's fucking on-ramps to a different highway! Like, what do you mean? If I'm just in the left lane on the street, suddenly I'm back on the highway. Like, what the fuck? It's dumb. It's awful. It needs to not be that way. Cities are god-awful at existing. And then, of course, you're just like, oh, I'll find somewhere to park. No, you fucking won't. You'll never find anywhere to park. Parking doesn't exist. It's certainly not for free. You have to pay for it. And it's going to be stupidly expensive, even though you're only there for 5 fucking minutes. And the parking garage is already full. Good luck finding a spot. Good luck fitting in a spot. I have a Malibu, and you would think that would be able to fit anywhere. But no, people don't know how to park, and parking garages gave you exactly 2 inches of parking space. It's dumb. I hate it so much. And that is how I feel about city driving. That is how I feel about it. That is particularly why I did not want to drive when we went to MFF with the group. I was like, I do not want to drive. I will drive on the highway. I will not drive in the city. Right. Like, so I've been to, Detroit and Ann Arbor. I've been through Ann Arbor because we like to go museum hopping, and there's, colleges there with good museums. So we did that, right? But, so, even though it's in a grid, it's still like there's one-way streets. I could tell you, I went down the wrong way on a one-way and had to make a fucking U-E, do a fucking U-turn, because I was going the wrong way on a one-way multiple times in Ann Arbor. Why? It's a grid. I should be able to just turn so long as I'm in the correct lane. And it's like, but I can't because I'm already here, so now what do I do? It's awful. Cities are stupid. It's dumb. And the GPS is no help. I could tell you that right now, because you got exactly 2 seconds to follow what the GPS tells you when you're in the city, and everybody's busy going like 40 for some reason, even though they're only going 20 feet. It's like, I'm trying not to hit the pedestrians that want to jaywalk because they're sick and tired of cars existing. And also, there's so many signs, and I don't know where I am or where I'm going, and I'm sure it would be easier if I knew where this place was. But I don't, so I hate driving in cities. I love driving on the highway. Pretty hard to fuck up going a straight line, but plus, the highway system actually generally makes sense. Oh, that's not bad. That's surprisingly cheap. What kind of hotel? Did you find a hotel or did you find a motel? There is a difference. And that's $376 for 3 nights or per night? I was like, I feel like there's no way you're gonna get a hotel for $300 for 3 nights. I'm telling you right now, be extremely careful with the quality inns. I thought they were decent. I stayed at 2 of them. One was nice. The second one gave me bed bugs. So 50-50 shot on whether or not it's actually a decent hotel that actually cleans. Just so you know. Because, like, the one up in Marquette was nice. The one I had in Kentucky was not. But that was also before COVID, and I was paying $50 a night. But that's back when, paying $100 for a hotel was high end. Nowadays, you pay $200, and that's the cheap end of hotels. I'd be very careful with the quality inns. It's Detroit, so I don't know if that makes a difference, but I highly doubt it. And I would hate for you to have to deal with bed bugs, because bed bugs are a fucking nightmare. First off, bug bites, awful. Second off, they are so hard to get rid of. One time they gave me the wrong room. It was extremely different than the one on the website. So they upgraded to a super business suite. Maybe you'll get lucky. That is true. Maybe you'll get lucky. Stayed at a Quality Inn in Chicago, and there were needles and broken glass littering the parking lot. Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. So maybe don't go for the Quality Inn. Maybe don't. Because like I said, we got bed bugs. We were lucky enough that we managed not to bring them home. Bingus got a massive scab because she wouldn't stop chewing her bug bites, and we had to put her in a cone so she'd stop chewing on it for like a month. It is extremely hard to get rid of bed bugs, and I'm still paranoid about them to this day, even though that was like 6-7 years ago now. Bed bugs are notoriously difficult to get rid of and kill. I also recommend for anybody who is traveling, whether or not you have proof of having bed bugs in your room, whatever you bring home, wash it in high temperature water and pour about a half a cup of vinegar into your washing machine. And then when you dry it on high heat. Heat kills the bed bugs. Vinegar is acidic and will help break down their exoskeletons and also kill them, including their eggs. It's not guaranteed, but it is extremely helpful with making sure you don't bring home bed bugs. Also a good idea that when you get home, just shower. Like right out the gate, just shower when you get home. Especially if you think that there might have been issues at your hotel. Also, vinegar is great in the washing machine because it's a natural fabric softener without leaving the residue behind that a lot of fabric softeners leave, because that's how they work. Which is also why you're not supposed to use fabric softener on baby clothes, because it is flammable. And it leaves behind a flammable residue. And I guess babies are the only people who don't deserve to catch on fire. Don't ask me why that's the thing, but the more you know. Yeah. They might yoink your delicious Conwares. No! But I don't know. Do they have like a Holiday Inn? The Holiday Inns are pretty good usually. Or what's the other one that's like Holiday Inn? Best Westerns are usually pretty good. I don't know how good the Comfort Inn is. I feel like that's a pretty similar level to the Quality Inns. I think they're the same company, honestly. I think the same parent company owns both of them, if I remember right. I don't remember, but if I remember right, I think it's the same parent company. It might just be a good idea for you to drive then, and not have the hotel. Because I don't know. Personally, I wouldn't want to risk it. You know, like that's because I have risked it before, and it gave me so many problems. And I would hate for you to have to deal with that. But citric acid, Botox, washing soda, and sodium carbonate. I think with vinegar, and it works really well, especially against hard water. Yeah. I don't do all the other fancy stuff. You know, I don't do the Botox and all that jazz. But definitely with the vinegar. It's like just it's so much better. Like all of that stuff is so much better than actual fabric softeners, I swear. Yeah, Holiday Inns are good. Oh, Borax. Duh, even I'm a fucking idiot, not Botox. I knew what you meant, and I still said the wrong word. Botox. Borax. God. It's one of those days. Bye, Jay. We'll come bug you in a bit. Have fun on stream. We're gonna go bug them in a bit when they get settled in on their stream. And then I'll probably bug them a little extra hardcore when we get over there. But for now, we're gonna finish up, I think, the last few pieces I have on this color, and then we'll pop over. Trust me, it's okay. Typing is hard. Spelling is even harder sometimes. And doing both at once, impossible. That's just how it be. But, you know, I like the Holiday Inns. The Best Westerns are usually pretty good. Marriott's are always good, but that's, of course, what the Renaissance Center is a Marriott. I am working on the bodysuit. Currently, I'm just cutting out all the pattern pieces for the bodysuit. For the little character in the corner. I did swap out the reference sheet, so this is the current character we're working on. Which is why we have all the white pieces that are everywhere. But all he has left to be done is his bodysuit. And then, of course, the final details on the feet and changing the details on the tails, because I don't like how the gore patches came out for those. I didn't like the silicone cores in the style of tails. And they just don't sit well with how I'm doing the bodysuits. They were a good learning experience, but they just don't work for these suits in particular. So we're going to take out the silicone cores, stuff the tails properly, and give them a different gore patch that just works with the normal belt. Yes, definitely most recent reviews. Because I've seen some hotels where they're like, oh, this hotel's amazing, and then everything from the last year is just, literally, the building is falling apart. Staff were rude. There was a water leak, and there was nothing done about it. Like, mold and mildew. Everything disgusting. I forget what hotel that was. I want to say it was a Nashville hotel. But I cannot remember for the life of me. I look at so many hotels because I try to check out as many cons as I can. Because I would like to vend at more cons. Somehow I always get into anime cons, but never into furry cons, which makes no sense. Considering I only sell furry. Like, I don't understand the logic. I understand why I don't get into furry cons. I don't understand why I get into anime cons. Like, it's so odd. Like, maybe it's just because it's a niche, and they don't have a lot of furries applying, but I still feel like it's a weird choice to let me in. And it definitely wasn't worth it the last time I did it. I lost money the last time I did it, so. The closest in good price range is Home 2 Suites by Hilton. ones are usually pretty good. For 346 for 3 nights. The actual hotel that the con is at is over 1,000. Yeah, the actual con hotel is so expensive. I don't know about the home too. I haven't heard of those ones, so those might be good. You'd have to check out the reviews on them just to make sure. But Hilton hotels are good, but just because it's by Hilton doesn't mean it is good, you know? Because usually there's a big quality difference between hotels, even if it's owned by the good hotels, you know? Like, yeah, it really depends on the reviews. I was thinking about printing paw pads, but how should I do the foot pawsies? For his business when I don't need anything because he wears penny loafers with the other ones. I would do the same, whatever fabric material you're doing for, like, his hands or his face, and I would just kind of do a foot paw pattern. You could probably go, it's up to you if you do, like, plantigrade or digi. There are free patterns out there, so you could go look. Or I know you talk about your husband doing modeling. You could try to model a set of feet. You could 3D print a TPU base for feet and then just fur over those. That's what a lot of people have been doing lately. But I'd definitely recommend just going on YouTube and looking up feet paw tutorials and seeing what kind of vibe, what kind of shape you kind of want to go for, and how exactly you want to go about it. Because there's so many different ways to do feet paws. Like, I've seen some skin-tight feet paws. I've seen giant feet paws like what I do. I've seen digi, planty, 3D printed, polyfill, foam. There's so many options. Yeah, that would be so cute, though. That would be so cute. And I've seen people do that, too, where it's just a shoe with a little foam on the tips to look like toes. Like, I think that would be super cute. Reviews look really good. One said that the furniture isn't comfy, but I can give a pass on that because we wouldn't be using it much. Then one said it was hard to find, but not too bad. I mean, if that's the worst reviews, is that the building itself is hard to find, it's a city. Finding fucking anything in a city can be difficult, even if it's on a grid system. Just because shit likes to tuck away places. They'll be like, oh, it's on a grid. Okay, you would think it would be easy to find, but it's also a skyrises. Like, things hide real easy between those tall-ass fucking buildings. Like me and a crowd of people who are 6 feet tall. I'm really easy to lose in a crowd. But, I mean, if that's the worst reviews, that sounds good to me. Like, not gonna lie. And I'm just worried about them getting wet. I hate feeling cold and wet. Yeah, I also hate that. But that's why you gotta get shoesies that are, like, more water resistant, you know? If you're gonna build directly off of shoes, I recommend getting, like, thicker tennis shoes, like old school style tennis shoes, and not like the breathable athletics tennis shoes. Definitely get something with memory foam if you're doing a lot of walking, because duh, comfort. But a lot of your thicker, heavier shoes, your like really bulky sneakers tend to be more waterproof than a lot of your more modern slim style sneakers that we have these days. Just because it's not the shitty ass fabric, you know. Yeah. I mean, I don't mind a little bit of rain. Like, if I get sprinkled on, that's fine. If I get drenched, not fine. Mother Nature's giving me a free shower, and it's fine. I have to wait until my next paycheck. My next paycheck is mostly for rent. Good. I mean, don't spend money that you don't have. You know, like, be careful about that, because you don't want to end up not being able to afford stuff that you need to afford. But yeah. Yeah, we brought the groceries in. I ordered groceries earlier today, and I went and I picked them up, and then I couldn't remember if we brought them in from the car or not, which they would have been fine. It's cold as shit outside. The car is basically a freezer. But, you know. I don't really know how I'm going to afford... Cause I don't remember if I already paid for it or like I booked the hotel, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't charge until you get there. Which sucks. Like a lot. I'm going to have to hope I have enough money for it. I'm going to have to hope that, Artist Alley helps cover some of it. Because normally when we do cons, I usually room with a group of friends. So you end up essentially paying for one night worth of hotel for the whole weekend. You pay like $300 to $500 depending on the con and the hotel. For the entire weekend. But then you're also splitting a hotel room between you and like 4 or 5 other people. Which is not as fun. But you're only sleeping in there, really, so it doesn't really matter. It's a half-hour drive to the con. Well, that's not that far. Oh, you mean from that hotel, or just in general? Because if it's from the hotel, yeah, no, that's a long drive to do from the hotel. I feel like that's kind of silly. I mean, it's better than a several-hour drive, I suppose. But that's still not great. Once when we know what the hotel rooms look like, I'm hoping that next year we'll be able to do the group rooms again. Because, whoo, shit's expensive. I can finally help show my siblings around because they haven't gotten to experience. Usually my hub and I just walk around the exhibition hall in a bajillion times and take some pictures, but this year we're going to go to more panels. Yeah! See, I love panels at FurryCons just because there's so much variety in them. Because, like, some of them are like, oh, well, here's how you can make a fursuit. Here's how to do your taxes. Here's, you know, like, a lot of how-to panels. Here's, a comedy panel. Here's another comedy panel. Here's a gaming panel. Here's a dance comp. Like, there's so much stuff. I'm personally a big fan of the comedy panels. That's my kind of vibe. So I usually don't do a whole lot for the day panels. Most of the time I just wander around Dealer's Den or Artist Alley, and then wander around the con floor. Plus, I don't want to say a lot, because a lot of cons are actually getting rid of them. Some cons have the fursuit parades, which are always fun, but a lot of cons are getting rid of them because logistically they're a fucking nightmare to have. Is that before or after taxes? Because be careful, the taxes are what get you. Yes! Like, I mean, MCSC hasn't released their panels yet. I'm kind of annoyed. I want to know what they have. You'd be surprised how much taxes add on for hotels. Like I said, there's a lot of... Because there's sales tax, there's hotel tax, and then I believe there's the city sales tax in Detroit. So it totals out to like 12 or 13% on top of what your price is. So it adds quite a bit. Yeah, and the hidden fees make sure like the cancellation policies and stuff like that. Whatever is whatever you need it to be. Do you have a fuzzy stuff to your butt? You got fuzzy stuff on your butt, baby man. You're also so in the way. You need to do your hair. Your hair's fluffing your face again. Excuse? Sorry. You didn't have to get up. I just needed you off my fur. Oh, a big stretch. Oh, it's such a big stretch. Your hair is in your eyeballs. There you go. Yep, told you. Tax does a lot. Specifically on hotels. It's awful. It's god awful. It's so awful, though. Because, like, They'll say, you'll be like, oh, it's 180 a night, when in reality, because taxes, it's actually like 230 a night, and that's a big difference. Like, I'm sorry, but that should not be allowed. If I'm spending that much money, you should tell me up front how much it is, not after I've gone through all the work trying to book it. Hello. Can I help you? Really? Can you wait like 5 more minutes? I mean, I guess I did say we were going to finish off that last sheet of fabric, and then we were going to dip for rating stream. Right, it's definitely still better than the Renaissance Center, but you know. Yep. Like, it's like, oh, you get $5 more an hour, but also your rent costs 200% more. You're welcome. It's awful. It's so awful. And I got a pay cut this year. Look at us go. We're doing great. I'm making half as much this year every month as I was last year for the same amount of work, if not more. It was not a good year. I spent a little bit too much money last year. We bought a lot of things last year. Ooh. We are actually going to go jump over to Shay, and we're gonna go. Yeah, we're gonna jump over there because they're doing a doodle stream. And we're gonna be nosy and raid them. And I might jump in later on voice chat. But for now, we're gonna go attack them. You know? We're gonna go beat the crap out of them. And then I will stream eventually. Sometime. Tomorrow, maybe. Maybe not. Who knows? But I will see you guys whenever I stream next. Bye, guys!